Okay, so I love ITZY. They were the first group I stand outside of Blackpink, and I will always have a soft spot for them. I wanted to look into how the girlies are doing, what the future is for them. Some people say they fell off from the early years, so I wanted to see what's the tea. Also, I just realized Yeji is having a solo coming out, so let me know if you want a video dedicated to her specifically. Of course, everything I say is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, and with peace and love. And let's go! ITZY. Star in the reverse position, the fruits of your labor not paying off, the Chariot not moving forward, not making progress, happily ever after, could be bad luck, again not moving forward too, working at the wrong thing. Well, I feel like ITZY don't feel like their talents are being utilized to the best of their abilities. I feel like they don't necessarily feel like big stars. I feel like the work that they put in, especially in the beginning of their career, when they had a lot of momentum and traction, and I think where they got more attention, they're like, that feels like that's been wasted. The Chariot is like not moving forward. The 10 of Cups would be like happily ever after, but it's sandwiched between the Chariot in reverse and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, which is like feeling stuck. It's like they're like, I'm in, I guess, like the collective energy of ITZY right now, where it's sort of like we have so many talents. Like, they're great dancers. I feel like they're good vocalists. Like, I think they're strong I think they're good vocalists. Obviously, like, really strong dancers, visuals insane, but there's something about like the 10 of Cups being sandwiched between those two cards would indicate that they're happily ever after, or like I guess that would translate into success, is like elusive. I guess because of both like external circumstances that are out of their control. This might have to do with like the company, but it also might have to do with just kind of like the roll of the dice. Essentially, these two cards are really interesting. They mirror each other because it's like the fruit of your labor. Is it paying off? In the reverse position, that's like a no. And this is like not working at the correct thing. I don't feel like they actually love the music that they released, or maybe the concepts, or just kind of like the work that they're doing. I feel like there is a yearning to do something else. I don't know if all of them have like a direct idea of what that is, but I also don't feel like ITZY has a lot of control over their career, even though they've been in the game for like, how long? Like 9 years? I don't know. Not 9 years. But they've been a group for a very long time, right? The Hanged Man, the need for a new perspective. The 5 of Wands is like improving after a period of struggle, especially when it comes to a group. King of Cups would be, I think that would be JYP. I kind of feel like that's the JYP card for the company, but sometimes it can also indicate the person. I feel like they've tried to communicate with the company about this, especially around maybe changing their direction. It seems both changing the direction, but also like adding to it more. I think they want more substance. I think that's why they've actually been pivoting, but it's not the right thing. But their discography is pivoting towards more depth. I think they've always had sort of a concept of like confidence and like being yourself and being your authentic self, but I feel like their music as of late has been a little bit more introspective, or maybe a little bit more mature or somber, and that is what they want, but they also just kind of want more substance, I think, in what they're doing. It's closer to what they want, but it's not the right thing. But again, they don't have a lot of say in what they do. Like, they're not the ones that are writing or producing. So I think they just kind of relay what they want, and then like that's outsourced to other people who do that type of work, and it still doesn't quite fit them. I feel like they had to really push for this though, because this is like arguing, because I see a back and forth with them and their company between like, this is what we want to do, this is the direction that we want to be in, we want more control over XYZ, and the company was like, I guess, like, they listened after a period of struggle. Wow, okay, so this is like making a choice. I feel like the girls are lost. I think they're lost particularly in their artistic identity. I'm not sure they necessarily know what they want to look like or sound like anymore, just because it's changed a lot. And ITZY kind of is a group that changes their vibe a lot, but really not truly. Like, every comeback has been about like being authentic to a degree, but it seems sort of like sometimes the concepts that they do are a little bit younger, sometimes they're very mature. It would be like the pivot from Sneakers and like Boys Like You to Imaginary Friend. And what was that comeback right before Imaginary Friend? The one where they, people were crying and they were running through a tunnel. I forgot what it's called, I'm sorry. Anyway, but like their discography pivots a lot, their image pivots a lot, and I think because it's just not a clear direction, I think that affects the girls genuinely on like a personal identity level, an artistic personal identity level. This is like apprehension and like feeling guarded. I think they're very worried about being criticized again in the public. Because I think, when was it? They were very criticized for Sneakers. I think just the concept, Sneakers grew on me heavily, by the way. At the time I was like, yeah, I don't like this, but I like it now. I see the vision now. But like they feel like they don't want another scandal about like, oh, like ITZY can't sing or something like that. I think they feel very protective of each other as well. ITZY seems like a particularly close group, very sister vibe, very like, I think they're very close. I think they're very mature with one another. Like they have boundaries and they tell each other. And I feel like Yeji particularly spearheads that. I know she's the leader, but I think Yeji does set a pretty good example around boundaries and responsibility. That's really cool. But like they are close, I would say. They're very protective though in that type of way. Page of Swords though is like somebody who has a lot of energy and drive. I do think they want to contribute more to their whole thing. Something about JYP is like, no. I don't know what, because like Stray Kids has like a lot of input. Stray Kids also was developed differently from ITZY and is in a different sector of JYP. But that being said, 3 is like collaboration. This can be transitioning and strength. I feel like they might what's the word? They might have like a resurgence where people put more attention, like the public puts more attention on ITZY, or their discography becomes stronger, or something about them will improve in some way. And I think this is through like the girls. I don't know, this seems, but to me in my mind's eye, I see them whispering behind like a curtain almost to each other, which would mean like doing it somewhat in secret, like why don't we do this, or why don't we just like create our own song and then present it to the company, or something like that. I could also kind of see them at some point releasing something that they themselves wrote. I know they wrote their solos, but this would be like an official big comeback that they do where they in some way had a hand in it, like they produced or something. Getting over a heartbreak, feeling your energy again, not naive anymore, starting over. That can sometimes be like pride, dissatisfaction, a rebirth. Oh, they're gonna try to take a risk. I'm so happy for them, honestly. I feel like they felt pretty stuck for the last like 3 years. Of course, Leah went on a hiatus for a year, so it's like, what can you really do with the 4 of them? Not like, I didn't mean it to sound like that. I just mean it's sort of like when you've lost a member and you're sort of like, what's our identity now? Like, so I feel like they've felt stuck for a while. I think that's going to improve. They're going to have to ditch some things about themselves. I also feel like they're just growing a lot. They're in their mid-20s now. So I mean, like, there's a level of maturity from when they debuted as well. This, though, talks about opportunity, and it can be good opportunity or bad opportunity, but it's just very, like, uncertain. The Death card, though, is a rebirth from that. So I feel like they're going to try to revamp themselves in some way again. And I'm trying to pick up on, like, what direction that would be or in what way that would be. The Lovers, ooh, I don't know. This is like faint, so I'm just gonna throw this out there, IDK, but I could see ITZY maybe leaving something or someone, or a separation, but it seems like a separation of ITZY as a unit from something else, like maybe their company. I mean, even less so, it's like someone leaving. I don't really see someone leaving ITZY. I could see ITZY themselves leaving something. I don't know when they renew their contract, though. I don't know how long their contract is either, but 3, oh, it's coming up, isn't it? Right? Because Idol renewed their contract recently, and they're about as old as ITZY is. Oh my god, say it ain't so. Because the Lovers is like, when it's upright, it's like the conjoining of something, the union of something. In the reverse, it's a separation of that union. The 3 of Wands is like strategizing, planning, looking off into the future. When it's in the reverse position, it's like the future is unclear, you don't know what to do, you don't know where to strategize. The Sun can be unhappiness, but it can also be a loss of innocence. The Ace of Wands is the birth of something new, especially in terms of energy. The Hermit is like soul searching, trying to like find yourself. The King of Wands would be making a man who's in charge unhappy in some way, or like masculine energy. Oh, this is JYP. Because the King of Wands is like, can be flamboyant, creative energy around the same age as JYP. So this would be JYP the person, being upset in some way. But that's control. A lot of eyes are going to be on them soon enough. Queen of Cups. That feels like Yeji, oddly. But like, ooh. Okay, IDK anything. I don't know if this is actually going to happen, but it seems like they've talked about this before. When they're like, are we going to stay with JYP or not? I don't know. To be honest, it doesn't seem like they're going to leave JYP, but they've had these discussions with each other, like among each other, where they're like, or trying to really leverage their contract. I could also see that being a thing, where they're going to really try to change their contract, and it'll cause a stir in the company. They're going to want to demand more, which is, they should, honestly, baddies, because this is a contract, though. I feel like Miss Yeji is the one that is spearheading this. Yeji does seem kind of like the motor behind ITZY. Just sort of even like getting the girls together and being, I think she's the one that like gives them confidence a lot. She's like, guys, we can do this, come on, like just kind of like a leader. I don't know if they're gonna leave the company, but I feel like they might threaten that. But I feel like what they're trying to do is get more liberty in their contract, to get more leverage, to get more freedom, to get more something, because I feel like that's coming up soon enough. They're gonna try to, I think they've been thinking about this for a while, how to get more say in their artists, in their art, and I don't know. The Empress in the reverse position would be a lack of feminine energy, but the Temperance is going on the right path. Oh, being in your masculine. I feel like ITZY are really going to try to be more, I see them in like a boardroom, and I see them like standing up with their hands like slammed on like the table, and they're like, no, we're not going to take this. Like, I really feel like they're going to try to advocate for themselves. It seems like from a place of strength, it seems like a place of like masculine energy, which would be more like hard and loud and out there. Less collaborative, but it also seems like they are trying to make a case where it's like, we can do these things. Like, I've been practicing like producing, and like I've been practicing like songwriting or something, and they're trying to like bring ideas to the table to revitalize their image. I see that in my mind's eye, and this is what they should be doing, because the Temperance is like being on the right path. Queen of Wands, that seems like Yuna, to be honest. Arguing. Yeah, I see them fighting with their company. They should. Honestly, they should. This would be like their, I don't know, the people who are in charge of running ITZY, I don't know who that is. Because JYP is sectioned off into like different mini companies or something like that. Divisions, I think it is. They're fighting with them about something. The girls are very close. They operate as a unit. They really do. Like, it's not like someone is kind of on the side doing anything underhanded. They're very much a unit. I think they really love working together. Very just like, I don't know, their bond is really beautiful. I don't know how to describe it. It's very sisterly. It's very loving. The Hierophant, doing this differently. The Page of Cups. Was that the very first card we got? No, it was a different reading. Okay. The Page of Cups. Luck, Young Energy, Queen of Pentacles. It's interesting because the Queen of Pentacles was in the reverse position, and the Empress was in the reverse position, which is like not being in your feminine anymore. Sometimes it can be like a lack of nurturing, a lack of being cared for in some way. I feel like ITZY, this was a significant problem in the past. I think it's gotten better. I think because Leah had to take a hiatus because of this, I think ITZY was strongly overworked, and I feel like that was a big reason why Leah had to take a hiatus. This is less a problem, but still a problem, where I feel like and I think this kind of like wasn't very good for them developmentally, because it just seems like they're a lot harder now. Like, they're not as much in their feminine energy, which feminine is like lounging around, being beautiful, like being like nurturing and just think of like the moon, or like earth, or like mother, you know what I mean? They're in their masculine, which is like being on stage and like singing and dancing and being in the sun. Think, I don't know, like hard, like a rock or something like that. They've had to do that for a long time. I think that's kind of sapped their creativity a little bit, always having to be in your masculine. The Hierophant, because creation would be like giving birth. It would be the mother. That's where creativity is, which is more so a feminine quality. The Hierophant, the Page of Cups. I think they're starting to get their groove back. Knight of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. Charging forward in emotion and in money. They have good ideas. JYP, I mean, I know you're not listening, but if you are, I would strongly listen to what ITZY have to say. I would also strongly give them a lot of the things they ask for in their contract. I feel like ITZY could be a massive hit if they were given more leeway, if they were able to speak up more, if they were given more breaks. ITZY, as artists and as people, are very hardworking, they're very dedicated, they're very committed, and they're also very talented. And if they were put in a position where those could be nurtured, they would produce more, they would give out more, and I think they'd just be more magnetic. ITZY as a group, I think, has been underutilized kind of from the jump. Which is really interesting to think about. Like, I don't know, they've been strongly underutilized. Just like as raw talent, they have that. There's something about them that is like, there's this it factor that hasn't been uncovered because they just haven't been nurtured enough. Their future is uncertain, I'll be honest. If they really strongly advocate and they don't let up and they are like advocating to get what they want, I think they could be huge. If things stay the same and they just sign the same old contract, I think they'll stay the same, which isn't a bad place to be in, but they're not satisfied there. They're releasing something toxic. This is energy, the internet, and the need to walk away from something. Yeah. ITZY girlies, if you're watching, I really feel like you should advocate for yourself. Do it. Don't settle for the contract they present you. Well, thank you.